Alright, so instead of a pick a card, I'm gonna do Roger Stone video because this is what I felt like doing since I didn't do it the other day. I didn't mention my bias about Owen, but I would say it's in line with Roger Stone, Owen Schroyer. I don't know much of anything about either one of them. I've seen their names, they're in headlines for things that they've been in the news for, and when I went to InfoWars, I saw Roger Stone's name, and so that's someone that I felt compelled to do. I don't consume that material often at all, nor have I ever, because it's very polarizing in my opinion, and there's a lot that I don't necessarily agree with, but I can understand their perspective, so that's where I stand with that. So Roger, what I'm feeling for you, is there's a couple things coming forward. First of all, there's an indication to acknowledge your faults or acknowledge your weaknesses, potentially having, we talked about in Owen Schroyer's video, having vices, and I'm saying with you that there are vices that can leave you susceptible to using your ego to get attention or to get ahead, something like that, where it would slip up, or like basically what I'm seeing, this is just a scenario, is you like trying to pick a person up, right? Like you're trying to flirt with someone and then you're trying to portray yourself as being this mysterious person, and then you're trying to make it obvious that you're concealing who you are with another identity, because it's just like a fun game for you to add this extra element of mystery to you. And then as you kind of get overly comfortable because you're under the influence, or you're just this excitable energy, then information gets out that you wouldn't normally do under more sobering or like neutral circumstances, and that's just being pointed out to me. There's also this, okay, I'm not sure how this is going to connect, but I'm being told to say my opinion on this, which I actually forgot I had an opinion on this. So currently Trump is like they're considering the Espionage Act, and I guess that's one of my bones to pick with this circle of men that I connect to each other, because there is an individual that I feel if you have bukus of money coming in, or audience members, whatever, wouldn't you be publicly fighting or privately fighting for the freedoms of those that honestly provided some public information that you could profit off of? And not only that, but just openly doing what's right. You know, if you stand behind the things that you are saying, then wouldn't that fall in line as well? And so there's this thought that I have of like, if you don't choose to do the right thing, fully and openly do the right thing, and it eventually comes around and bites you in the butt, then I don't feel sorry for you. And that's just something that I'm being told to point out. And so when going to the third subject, I am being drawn to this current climate and the situation that's going on right now, and I feel excitable energy coming from you, but it's a two-part. It's excited because this is an indication to you that something's going to get started that you are looking forward to. You're very excited about what is to come, because this indicates to you that there is some sort of, I would say it's more secretive agreement, or like a quiet agreement or an unspoken agreement, something that's not necessarily out in the open, that this is going forward. And so this is like a bat signal for you that like reinforcements are coming in, and it's gonna pan out in a way that you are hoping for. This is, at least that's like your perception of things. And then I'm also seeing this, like your guardian angels are saying to listen to yourself, like listen to your intuition, listen to your inner thoughts, because you're connecting to spirit in a way that you haven't been doing prior. It's a deepening of your connection to spirit, and you're connecting in a way that they're telling you, like your intuition is telling you something very important, and you are highly advised to follow through with what your intuition is guiding you towards. And it feels like it's ultimately guiding you to a more mentally stable place, because there's something about how your mental stability coincides with your physical wellness, and there's this concern basically like that your body can give out. Like there's a concern about that, or there's a question about that, or there's almost a mistrust is kind of how it comes across, where like you know that you're strong, but there's something that's potentially crumbling, like cracks. Like that's how I'm seeing it's like a body, like a stone figure, and then cracks showing within the stone figure, and there's a concern there of the integrity of that body. Like, is that just a surface, you know, is that just surface cracks, or is that something that's really jeopardizing the integrity of that statue? And so that's how I'm seeing you being symbolized. And so, but yeah, they're just saying trust yourself, because you're getting information like your liver, potentially. Maybe it's your liver. Pay attention to something like that. Like pay attention to medical advice that you've received. Maybe if I'm kind of seeing, I'm seeing this chalice that she's holding. It could potentially be medicine, like some sort of medicine. Medicine, or I don't know if you're diabetic, like insulin, right? That's what they use, insulin, because it's kind of like that word. Or maybe they're just trying to say it's like shots. I knew this was going to come out. I knew it was going to come out like that. These are the two side notes that I'm getting. Is this feels medical to me. So pay attention to just being on top of your health, listening to medical advice. It could be overconsumption of drinking, and because that would affect your liver, but even reducing red meat, like there's something, I'm not sure what red meat, because red meat's good for you, I believe. It has a lot of iron. I don't know. This is obviously significant because this keeps coming up. So that's a side note, but I feel you would have an idea of this, but this coincides with your intuition too. So you would know, you would kind of get these ideas that something doesn't feel quite right, something feels a little bit off, and then from there, from taking that notice, and that communication too, your guardian angels are trying to get through to you about this, then this can be I'm hearing overcorrected, but it can be overcorrected, and everything's going to be fine with that if you just pay attention. So this right here is what I'm seeing as far as what's currently going on, where I feel like this is your adversary, right? This is you, and I'm gonna say someone's like Donald Trump or people that are involved in what I consider you guys a circle of whatever, people who run in your circle. And this is also indicating an agreement. This Two of Cups can signify that. And this is kind of the mood that I see that you're in, where it's almost this feeling of questioning if it's too early to celebrate, questioning if, almost like if it's real. Like, is this really going to happen, or is this really happening? A little unsure of how everything's going to play out, I feel, but just kind of like the finer details of things. It's like I'm wondering about the finer details of it, but the agreement's already been set. So because it seems like the scenario here with the Eight of Swords is she's not trapped. It's just her perception that she's trapped, right? She could easily get out of these binds, and she's not necessarily in a threatening position. That's also the perception of the reader, if I were to choose to see it that way. If I were to choose to see her in a helpless and dangerous situation. But in truth, these swords, it takes a person to attack her with the swords, or it takes her being clumsy, it takes her not taking the blindfolds off. She can very well expire because of malnutrition if she just stays there forever, right? And this is the intuition coming in, and the signal of the birds of, you know, if there was any situation that was truly terrifying or threatening, these birds would sound the alarm, and yet they're not going to, because I picture them landing here and just kind of wondering what the heck she's doing, right? And so what it feels like is what's happening now is on a deeper level signifying with this deeper agreement, this hidden agreement, or whatever it is, that, I mean, I would go to the degree of saying I trust you. Me personally, I trust you, and I trust you guys on the majority 85 and up percent of what you say and what you stand for and what you believe in, because that's what I feel here is like, you know, this is people waking up. This is signaling that this is going to be a direct change in the trajectory of the way things are going, because there isn't a feeling of hopelessness. There isn't a feeling that like bad people are gonna get away with this. It's like like outsmarting them because it was like a kind of like a trap being set. It's like I didn't just think 33, I didn't just think 3 steps ahead. I said 33 is important. 33, which I know that's Freemasonry, but and beyond, but I'm seeing the number 33. Like I looked up and there's a safe I have and it has a series of numbers and it's 33 and I can't get past what I'm trying to say because I'm stuck on that number. So 33 is significant. 33 degrees, 33. So five also. Basically, I'm trying to get past. You all were thinking 30 steps ahead, because if you think that far ahead, then you can risk taking 20 steps behind or 28 steps, because that's still going to set you forward, right? So you were thinking of all the different scenarios and the best course of action. And I think this is signifying like how intelligent you are, or how intelligent everyone is, or it just like it just feels like celebration. But there is that concern. There is not. It's basically saying it's kind of a bittersweet. It's like I want to celebrate, but it's also bittersweet because I know the struggles or the pains or the conflict that has occurred and will occur and is occurring in order to achieve this. But this feels faded. It feels faded, and also someone's watching you very, very, this is an obvious, right? Obviously someone's watching you. Obviously someone's watching you. Who's watching you? I mean, this verifies too for me. This is like a spying card to me. Well, this could mean authority, right? But this verifies to me what I'm feeling here, because this horse appears to me like it has cracks within it, which symbolizes the statue of you that I saw. And so it kind of indicates to me that it's someone that is monitoring your potential demise, like trying to deter you or distract you. Like the way that I could explain this is if it was like a high operative task where they're like, okay, Roger has diabetes, right? So he should not be eating jelly-filled donuts, but we know that's his vice. So we're going to set out cars that are going to pass him that implant these cravings in him, right? And then we know that he listens to Spotify in the morning, so we're going to implant jelly donut or like Krispy Kreme ads so that it kind of tempts you into that and gets that craving going in you, because they want you to self-sacrifice, basically. Like they want you to give in to these cravings that you know are going to harm you, or you're going to be spending so much time at the donut shop that you aren't going to the doctor to see what's wrong with you. You're going against your intuition. So it would be something like really sneaky like that. And what I'm seeing here is, see, and it's this belief, not belief, but like their desire to have you feel, once again, have you feel helpless. It's a psychological thing that they're trying to play on you, like they've played on everybody else, pretty much. And I think that's something that gets you really excited to see that it's not going according to their plan. So what I'm seeing here in this is that while she's pouring this, I'm being drawn to the background. And the background to me is this clouded new dawn, right? And it's, the clouds are kind of, from the way that I'm seeing it in here, is it's ruining the view. Like, I really want to see that new dawn. I really want to see the sun rise. I've been looking forward to that. And yet these clouds are getting in the way. And what's the guardian angels are telling me is it's more, it's kind of like they're kind of saying, we recognize that that's something that you really wanted, and we understand that that's very important to you, just as far as your own personal desires. But we also want you to understand the most important thing is that the sun came up again, that it's here to nourish the world and you, right? It's providing I would be careful of whatever it is you're drinking. That's what I'm saying. There's a warning here. Be very careful about what you're drinking, where you're drinking it, who's providing you with it. Pay attention to that. And you could even go a step further and test it. Like, test what you're drinking. Like something about the water, or like the liquid or whatever. Like, pay attention to that. Like, you see how she's pouring it into this vase? The story I'm getting here is like, you could take that somewhere. You don't have to have it right there. You know, you don't have to consume it right there. You can take it with you, like, thanks, and then investigate it if you so choose. I don't want to use that. So we have High Priest and we have Sky Father. And you see how this eagle is on its way to grasp this snake. It's a big repetition because I see that together and this together, where this high priest is harnessing the connection with this traitor, and this falcon is going to land on this pillow, which both are indicating to me that they're telling me to wait. The reason I stopped is because when I said traitor, that just full stop. And everything I'm seeing here, even with this, is shedding old skin. It reroutes me back to the beginning of the reading, when I was saying that you have to be very careful of, I mean, it's pretty much your ego. Like, you have to be very careful about your ego, and don't celebrate too early. I think that question of like you kind of scaling back with that, you need to listen to your intuition, because there's so much here that's basically saying to be careful of what you wish for. Like, you might just get it, and you might not be able to have the longevity to withstand it if you don't temper yourself and get right in every sense of the way, before you just kind of keep going on the momentum that you have, because that is not going to be, that's not going to give you the longevity that you need, right? Like, momentum only lasts for so long. You need to have the discipline for that, right? And so I'm just so I don't know, there's a lot of it's a disappointment that I see. Honestly, it feels like a disappointment, because they don't want you to, it's like you aren't closing the cycle of your last situation or problems before moving on to the next thing. You have to learn to close up those cycles. You have to learn from those smaller instances, because you're coming into this moment that's going to be unlike anything that you've ever experienced or had to handle before. And so if you're basing everything off of your, off of the momentum, off of your excitement, off of the things that you've thought that you were wanting to work towards, you have to be very, very careful and slow down and analyze every single moment, and make sure that as you're doing that, you're not neglecting your inner voice, because that's going to guide you in a safe manner so that you don't make critical mistakes that eventually they will end up working. There, it kind of feels like, yeah, it'll work in everyone's favor, but everyone doesn't necessarily have to mean you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean the favor in which you want it to happen in, if you're not careful. Because it kind of seems like this question being posed of who do you really work for? Like, who do you really work for? Can you really be trusted? And it's like, yeah, you can be, as far as the things that you say, but what's your hidden agenda? Like, behind that, beyond all of that, what is your true intention, right? Like, you could display all the correct information. You could pose yourself as having all of the right things, or the right, you know, moving things in the right direction, but ultimately behind that, what does that, like, what is your primary motivation? What's your primary focus? And who is dictating that, right? Like, and it feels like an institution, right? It feels like a hidden institution that is navigating this, that is pushing, that is giving you this vision to move forward. It kind of feels like that boat, right? Like, they're providing you with the boat. This is the story I'm getting, is it's kind of like the Six of Swords, if I could find it. But it feels like someone is providing you with a boat. You didn't make that boat yourself. You didn't do it yourself. But you are going to have to navigate the waters. You're going to have to do that on your own. And that's a good thing, because you're chartering people who are seeking refuge. But at the same time, that's kind of short-sighted. Like, you should look at the bigger picture of things, of like, what, how do I say this? Like, it could essentially be lining your pockets, right? That kind of thing, which I'm not saying that it is, but that's like the association I'm getting, or like the story I'm getting. However that's supposed to, whatever that's supposed to mean, right? That could just be symbolism, right? That's just a symbolic thing there, potentially. Which, it could be symbolic for, like, beyond this lifetime, right? Whatever kind of information you're privy to when it comes to that esoteric stuff. So, I'm just going to grab one of these and leave it at that. Just be very careful, be very mindful of what's going on in your inner thoughts, in your world, because it's just, again, over and over again of be very careful. Make sure that you're coming from the most high, most pure place, because you're gonna get what you're looking for, and it might not be what you want if you're not in the right state of mind. If that makes any sense at all. There's only one, so Prayer. Dear guardian angel, help me believe that all is possible through love. Help me manifest my dreams and live an inspiring and fulfilling life. Help me to feel God's presence in every moment. Help me feel eternally loved. Thank you for being by my side always. Judgment. Let go of your fear of being judged. You are good enough. It is time to release all that you have kept safely locked away in your heart. Your true essence and potential have been restricted by structure and method for long enough. There's no right or wrong way. Just be you. I feel like I should do one more expression. Express how you feel clearly, lovingly, and honestly without fear or judgment. Say it exactly like it is. All will be resolved when you express to others how you truly feel. Trust in the power of life to guide you and heal all concerns. Self-expression is liberating and healing. That's it. Bye, guys.